come and catch the vibe. Welcome to Easy Weekend.
It's Easy Weekends.
Cats can't see me.
Welcome back to the Sit Down. It's your guy, M. Easy. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that good stuff because we need the algorithms to algorithm. I want to say about a month or two ago, we interviewed the Bling Bling Bishop, and he had a lot of things to say about a person named Brandon Belmonte. And today, I'm giving Brandon his turn to say his piece. Brandon, say hello to the people.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, where do you want to start?
I mean, there's a lot of things I could start with, but I just want to, basically touch on some items that Bishop Lamor brought to your show a month ago.
Go ahead.
That were, false. I was introduced to Bishop Lamor by a gentleman. I used to own the largest luxury car rental business in New York. It was called VIP Cars. We had about 108 cars. We did a lot of music videos. We did a lot of luxury high-end car rental, Rolls Royce, Lamborghinis, etc., etc. Had a body shop in the Bronx that I bought about 2 years ago for like $500,000. A gentleman walks in one day, a broker in New York City who was a big broker in the car rental business, walks in and says, this guy wants to rent out his car. I'll never forget, Bishop walks in with this big, huge chain that either cost less than a Hershey bar or more than, a Rolls Royce. One or the other, right? And I basically shoved him off and said, I'm not interested. It was a huge cross. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. About 6 months goes by, I get a phone call from this young woman. She says, my car got into an accident. Can you fix my car? I said, yeah, I'm not really at the body shop that often, but I'll come. I come to the body shop, meet her. She identifies herself as Bishop Lamor Whitehead's sister-in-law. Her name was Ashley, very beautiful, pretty girl, cool girl. She says, can you give me a car to use for a couple weeks while you fix my car? I said, yeah, sure. She had a Maserati truck. We fixed it. I gave her a brand new BMW X6M to drive around for a couple weeks. She drives the car and don't hear anything. Bishop calls me one day. Thanks for fixing my sister-in-law's car. I said, hey, cool. Nice to meet you. Pleasure. He got my number from his sister-in-law. About 3 or 4 months goes by. I get a FaceTime back to back. I pick up. I'm like, hey, what's up? He goes, hey, Brandon, it's Bishop. My wife's car got hit, G-Wagon. I said, okay. I said, I'm not really at the body shop. I'm in real estate. I said, I'm not really in the body shop that often. He goes, well, can you fix her car? I said, yeah, that's fine. At this time, I shut down the rental business. I'm not renting cars. I don't have any cars anymore. I have my personal Lamborghini Urus and a Aventador SVJ. I don't have any cars to give anyone for free. He brings his wife's car to the shop, comes to the shop. He goes, my wife needs a car to drive. I said, okay, we'll cover her rental. The car, the G-Wagon, was like $25K to fix. So I go and I rent his wife a Cadillac Escalade from Blue Street Exotics in Long Island. I pay $13,000 to rent a car. Now you're a businessman. Everybody's a businessman. Now I'm into it. I have 12 grand left to play with, right? By the time I buy parts for the car, I do everything. There's no money left at all. He starts at the end of the job. I got to get mine. Starts coming every day to the shop, every day. Every other word out of his mouth is Eric Adams this, Eric Adams that, Eric Adams this, Eric Adams that, Eric Adams this. I said, listen, I'm building a building in the Bronx right now. I said, I don't have anything to do with Eric Adams. I don't know any Eric Adams. I don't want nothing to do with Eric Adams. I got to get mine. I said, bro, I don't know what you're talking about.
What does he mean by I got to get mine?
There is no extra money in this job at all. He goes, I don't give a fuck. He goes, I'm from the streets. He goes, and don't get this, misconstrued of the way I dress and who I am. I'm from the streets. I got to get mine. I said, bro, I paid $13,000 for a fucking... Sorry for swearing.
No, you can curse. Go ahead.
Okay. I paid $13,000 for a fucking rental for your car. There's no money left in this deal whatsoever. So you want me to lose money to fix your wife's car? How the fuck does that make any sense? He goes, bro, I don't give a fuck what you got to do. He starts sending me Zelle requests, starts telling me his brother's going to pick it up. Don't get misconstrued who I really am. People don't fuck with me in the streets. I can roll around with all this jewelry on. I'm not really, don't play me because I'm a bishop. At this time, I'm living in an $8 million house in Weehawken, New Jersey, overlooking the whole city, have the whole setup, everything. He starts, I need my fucking $5,000. You fucking faggot. I have recordings, everything. Starts calling me all sorts of crazy names. I'm like, bro, listen. I said, at the time, I sold the body shop out to 2 guys because I don't have time to go there every day. The 2 guys, I go, give him his $5,000. Let's move on with this situation. we're not giving him his $5,000. I go, well, I'm not giving him $5,000 out of my own pocket. I'm not losing money to fix some guy's car that no body shop in the world, I don't care what you have, will give you a $13,000 rental for a month. That's how much they charged me for the Escalade, a month. Long story short, he starts making threats. I'm going to send somebody to come pick up my fucking money. I'm going to show up at your house. I'm going to pull up on you. Starts talking like a street guy. I go, bro, I'm not a street guy. I said, just because, I hung out with street guys in the car rental business, I'm not a street guy. All of a sudden, he starts, I'm going to pull up at your house tonight. You're a fucking faggot. Starts calling me all sorts of names. Every day, starts calling me names. I said, listen, I'm going to pay you. I said, I don't want nothing to do with you. I can't stand you. You're the most annoying person in the world. Anybody who's a real businessman can't come and sit at someone's body shop for 5 or 6 hours. He would come sit at the body shop for 5 or 6 hours straight, sit there on the other side of my desk and basically tell me about his real estate deal in Connecticut, tell me about this real estate deal, that real estate deal, how he has City Hall in his back pocket, Eric Adams this, Eric Adams that, he has guns in his church, okay, everything.
Wow.
So I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy thinks he is. So one night, it was a Friday night, it was around Greek Orthodox Easter weekend. My fiance is in Ohio. I'm on the phone with one of my boys who used to work at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan, and I'm telling him the story. I go, bro, I said, I think Eric Adams is trying to extort me through this guy. Because he kept saying to try for me to introduce my best friend as a legit billionaire, real estate developer. He's a Hasidic Jew. He's a legit billionaire, like legit.
Mm-hmm.
He kept saying, introduce me to him. I got City Hall in my back pocket. Eric Adams, when he was Borough Hall president, was going to give me a $60 million construction contract. I didn't have a construction business. E will do anything for me. So I call my boy. I go, this guy wants $5,000 and basically he's going to leave me alone, but he keeps talking about City Hall do things for me with my building. They'll give me benefits, right? I could get you this. I could get you that. E, it's my time to shine. It's my time to eat. I didn't get to eat because I guess when Eric Adams became Borough Hall president, I'm speaking out of, not sure about this, he had just came out of jail and basically he didn't have anything at that time. Now that he had something, whether he did or he didn't, people thought he did because the guy's driving around 2 Rolls Royces, a Lamborghini, et cetera, et cetera. He comes across as a guy who has the wherewithal to be able to do real estate. Mm-hmm. So he goes, introduce me to your boy. So I call my boy and I go, this guy wants to borrow. Then he started asking me to borrow $500,000. I said, let me get your Zelle. I said, I'll Zelle you the $5,000. I didn't even have Zelle at the time because my bank doesn't have Zelle. I said, let me get your Zelle. I knew that was the quickest, easiest way to get him. I'm going to send you your Zelle. So that Friday night, I called my boy who used to work at the U.S. Attorney's Office, and I'm like, I think the mayor of New York is trying to extort me through this guy because every day this guy's saying he's going to set up meetings with Eric Adams. He's going to do this with Eric Adams, introduce my boy, who's a legit billionaire, to Eric Adams. We're going to sit down with Eric Adams. Eric Adams has the key to the city. He could get whatever he wants from Eric. Eric's his boy. Eric's his mentor. Eric's something with Bishop Lamor, Whitehead's dad, got killed by the NYPD. I'm like, okay, fine. So I call my boy. It's a Friday night. I'm living in my house, right? I call it my boy. I go, what should I do? I said, I really think the mayor's on the take. I said, there's some weird shit going on here. Every word out of this guy's mouth, it's Eric Adams, Eric Adams, Eric Adams. And he presents himself as a thug and as a legitimate businessman. So my boy goes, dude, you need to call the U.S. Attorney's Office right now. So I said, are you sure? He goes, yeah. So I dial the 212 number to the U.S. Attorney's Office. They put me on the phone with 2 AUSAs, 2 FBI agents, and another guy. I explained to them basically what Bishop Lamor Whitehead said to me. They said, that's crazy. It sounds unbelievable that someone would throw around the mayor of New York City's name like that. It's not like he's throwing around his name, your name, her name, not that you guys are nobodies, but, this is the mayor of New York City saying basically he's going to give us a homeless shelter in the Bronx for a building that's not a homeless shelter. That was our discussion, okay? And he spoke so candidly of the mayor that he basically, these are my text messages, this is everything. I speak with him. He called him E, then he would refer to him as Eric. So I said, the next morning, it was a Saturday morning at 7 a.m., I get a call from a block number. It was the FBI. They said, where do you live? I said, Weehawken, New Jersey. They said, yeah, we're on our way to your house right now. I said, what? I said, you're on your way to my house right now? I said, I just got off the phone with you guys last night at 11 o'clock. He goes, yeah, this is really serious. I'm like, okay. I said, that's fine. Come in my house. They sit in my house for about 2 hours. They asked me to make a recorded call to the bishop. Straight up. They said, if you're not lying, you have to make a recorded call. Show us that you weren't lying. You kept us on the phone last night for an hour and a half telling us this story about how this guy drops the mayor of New York's name every 5 seconds. So a week before this, he asked me to borrow $500,000 for his project in Connecticut. He said he needed $500,000 to finish his project in Connecticut, and I had sent my father, who died in September of 2022.
Condolences.
Thank you. This is around June 2022. I sent my father, my father's a big construction guy in Connecticut, to check out his property in Connecticut to try and help him when we were on good terms. That's when I did it, right? Now, we weren't on good terms, and I didn't give him his $5,000 yet. Every other word out of his mouth was, I need my fucking money. I got to get mines, blah, blah, blah. So the FBI comes to my house. I do a recorded call. The recorded call goes like this. He's in his fucking closet. That's huge. Like, the guy's got a closet like a celebrity you see on, MTV Cribs, right? And I have a big-ass house, but I don't have any clothes, right? So this guy's living, like, large. And he's in there folding, like, Fendi and Gucci and all these fucking brands that, I've never had before in my life. And he goes, yeah, me and you will sit down with Eric. Just get me my $5,000. Everything's going to go, as planned. And we're going to make money together. We're going to make millions together. So that call was recorded. I did it in my Lamborghini Urus in front of my house with the FBI agent literally sitting in the backseat of my car, like hunkered down, right? So then he goes, I still want my $5,000. I need my fucking $5,000. Starts flipping out on me, like fucking calling me crazy names. So the FBI gave me $5,000 to give to him.
Wow.
He says to me, listen, we're going to make millions together. We're going to run City Hall. I got connections. We did about 3 or 4 other recorded phone calls back and forth where he would say, Eric Adams is my right-hand man. Eric Adams was at the Met Gala. He called Eric Adams right in front of me. Eric Adams did not pick up the call in any of the conversations ever. But his assistant did, and Bishop was trying to get a meeting with Eric Adams to sit down with us to do a business deal together. The FBI had me give him the $5,000, and in his interview with you, he says I set him up, and that they're not using me as a witness in the case, and that I lied about all this stuff. Everything is on recordings. I didn't lie about anything. Everything from A to Z is on recordings that the FBI had me record all our conversations with him, in which he goes into detail over and over again of, you need to give me my fucking money, you need to give me $500,000, you need to do this, you need to do that, or basically, I'm going to get your project shut down, I'm going to make your life miserable, I'm not really who you think I am, don't let the Bishop's clothes, basically deceit who I really am, because I'm really a thug deep down inside. He would basically throw out a couple times. He said he was, involved with the Crips. He said, even though I know when Casanova got arrested in 2020, I paid for his lawyer the day he got arrested. James Kasuris, I paid $75,000 for Casanova's lawyer the day he got arrested. And the FBI came to my house when Casanova was a fugitive from justice. He called. And he basically told me, he said, I don't care who you fuck with. And I said, bro, Cass and I were cool. I'm not a street guy, but I'm not I'm a cool dude. Like, people like me in the streets, I did a lot for a lot of people. The day that Cass got arrested, literally he called me that day. He said, I need a lawyer. I got him a lawyer, and I wired $75K to James Kasuris that day, right? That Casanova got arrested. So then he starts with the whole $500,000. I need $500,000. I need $500,000. So I never gave him the $500,000. We basically strung him along that I was going to give him the $500,000. And he would say, once you give me the $500,000, I'm going to make the introduction to Eric Adams. So basically it was, I want you to fix my wife's car for free, right? I want you to lose $5,000 on fixing my wife's car. Then I want you to give me $500,000 that you're going to lend me against my property in Connecticut. Which is property in Connecticut, my friend actually did the mortgage. I don't know what you guys know about mortgages, but if he took the $500,000, he would have been in default because you can't have a second position loan on the property. So first position is my friend, second position would have been me. And basically he was just trying to defraud me to give him $500,000 when he hadn't made a payment on the building in 3 or 4 months. So his whole thing was, I'm the, thug bishop. Is what I would call him deep down inside. Mm-hmm. He's not a good person. He comes across as a good guy. He tries to get on your good side. My father was dying at the time, and basically he just wanted everything he could get from me. And once he knows he's not going to get anything, you're a piece of shit. You're a scumbag. You're a lowlife. You're trash. You're everything. So he says, oh, I set him up on your radio show. He goes, oh, he set me up. I didn't set him up. He set himself up.
I mean, what kind of a setup, though? You got a phone call, FBI, kind of felt set up. Granted, he deserved it. I'm not going to say he didn't deserve it, but it kind of was a little setup. But I agree. He did deserve what he got because, I mean, listen, if he was trying to defraud you out of money, right is right, wrong is wrong. So how did it end without him going to jail?
What do you mean?
Because if the FBI is involved...
He did get arrested.
Oh, he did?
He got arrested right before Christmas for extortion, which was the $5,000 for the car, and then the potential simultaneous fraud of the loan of $500,000.
Yeah.
Using Eric Adams as my go-to, because he basically was offering us city benefits on behalf of Eric Adams without Eric Adams' knowledge of him doing this.
But here's the next thing.
Yeah.
Eric Adams has to get on some kind of public forum and denounce his relationship with this man.
He hasn't.
And that's a problem.
It is a problem. No one understands why. And I did an interview from the New Yorker magazine back in December when he got arrested. I did an interview with the New Yorker magazine, and I sat down with them, and they said, why do you think Eric Adams hasn't? I think they're friends. I think they were friends at one point, but I don't think Eric Adams is a bad person. I don't think Eric Adams was ever in on any of this. I think the bishop tried to leverage his relationship with Eric Adams to basically try and defraud me and look at me as an easy target in this situation when I was an easy target. And he actually asked people, does Brandon know people in law enforcement before he met me? Then he goes on your show and says that I put bugs inside cars. I had rappers arrested. I had this arrested. When all I did ever in my life, when I had you could ask anybody, people had my Rolls Royce Cullinan shot up in the Bronx. I fixed it myself, never had them pay for it. When Cass got arrested, paid for his lawyer. So many kids, we had 108 total cars. So many kids would come to us all the time, say, oh, I just got arrested for credit card theft. Can you help me get a lawyer? Can you help me get this? Can you help me? Can you do this? Can you do that for me? And we would help everybody. We're not out here to hurt anybody, but at the same time, we're not out here to be taken advantage of by anyone. And he says, oh, the FBI wasn't on to him. But then right after he gets arrested for my case, right, he gets arrested for buying his house with fake bank statements. And then recently, and I don't follow him, he said that I was on your show. He said that I was watching him before. I didn't even know who the hell he was, nor do I really care who he is. Yeah, I don't even go to church. I went to a Catholic school, but I don't even pray to God. So I would never pray to him, first of all. And anybody who's driving a nicer car than I'm driving and, leaves your house and could sit there for 6 hours and you leave your house at 11 a.m. in the morning is obviously up to some sort of no good. And had I lent him the money, he's lost the building in Connecticut, or he's in the process of losing the building in Connecticut. It was just signed over to a receiver. He sued me for $200 million. I've never been actually served with the lawsuit, but his lawyer, Brian Ponder, and I'm sure I'll get sued again right after this interview. I'm 100% sure. His lawyer basically just puts it on the internet that he's suing me for $200 million, and I don't get served, but it just is this media frenzy. That's what he does this for. It's all just a big joke. So when I saw your interview, people were reaching out to me and they're like, bro, you need to go on there. You need to clear the air of what exactly happened, because what he did was not kosher. It wasn't cool. It wasn't right. And you want to pretend you're someone of God. You need to really be someone of God, not be, either I say this, either you're a mobster or you're, a church guy. You can't be both.
Word.
And he wanted to be both. And that's a major issue in this whole thing. And there's more things probably coming towards him because he's done a lot of people dirty like this. And then he wants to come on here and throw shade on me. I would sit down with him across right here and have a debate with him, because he can't say that I ever set him up. I did this, I did that. He did everything himself because he was the one who was saying, give me this and I'm going to get this from City Hall, when there really was nothing to give me from City Hall.
Gotcha.
And it's not right.
Well, Brandon, thank you for coming. Appreciate you telling your side of the story. And I think, like they always say, there's three sides to every story. There's your side, my side, and the truth. And I think somewhere in the middle, we found the truth. Bishop Lamor, You ain't right, fam. You ain't right. You ain't right. You ain't right. But we knew that when you came in. Anyways, Brandon, thank you for coming again. Let them know how to be a part or follow you or, support your businesses, anything like that.
I stay low key. It's
Gotcha.
all good.
Thank you for coming through, Brandon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a sit down. Come and catch the vibe. Welcome to Easy Weekend.
It's Easy Weekends.
Cats can't see me.